Hello, everyone. I trust you all are doing great. I hope you all are doing amazing. All right. So this is a quick analysis on Ethereum using the concept of key level harmonic patterns as manual concept. Okay. So we're going to go from what has happened in the past to actually forecast or predict what is going to happen based on price action. Okay. And also based on the narrative regards to Bitcoin cycles and then other altcoins. Okay, so we're going to look at what Ethereum is doing. Okay, and then based on the fact that we've had such thing in the past, we cannot be able to predict future outcome or based on what we are seeing on the chart. Okay, so let's go straight to my desktop. Let's look at that together. Okay. So right here is Ethereum USDT, and then from the weekly time frame, I've already mapped out the weekly key levels. Okay, so I've marked out all the weekly key levels. You can see that these are areas that price have reacted in the past. Okay, and you are seeing so many reactions here. From the weekly time frame, these are rejection week, and there are very significant levels, key levels in the market that price will always react from. You can see our price reacted from all of these key levels, and then we had a sharp drop to the downside, where we'll see something we call the bearish run or the bear run. Now we're on the bull cycle, meaning that we are making higher highs and higher lows. But then price have traded into a key level. As you can see from the weekly time frame, price have already traded into what? A key level. This is a key level of other block that price have traded into right now. Okay, so if we can be able to break above this key level, if we can be able to trade above this key level, then we can be able to start to see ourselves testing this key level at 3,400-ish, and then we can see ourselves to 4,000-ish price figure. Okay, so but right now we are actually on this key level, okay, from the weekly time frame. But let's look at what happened in the past before we had this bearish run or the bear run. What really happened in the past based on Ethereum? Now, for the daily time frame, right here, we actually saw something that happened here. Now let's go back to the weekly time frame. Let me look at that together with you guys. Okay, so you can see that this is a continuation of this test of this key level. You can see that this is a rejection week. Let me do this right here. This is actually a rejection week. The price came to this level and then reacted from, but you can see that how price actually took out that previous high as a kind of liquidity, right? So price took out that high as a kind of what? Liquidity. Okay, and that was actually very much valid. Of course, it's valid and it is okay for price to do that. That is where harmonics and smart money concept comes in. All right, because harmonics will give you the vehicle, and then the smart money will give you the fuel for you to be able to move from point A to point B. That's just the concept, right? So now let's look at what happened there in the past. Then we'll look at what is going to happen, what is happening currently, and then based on that, okay? So right here, we can actually see what happened here. Then we'll start to look at for harmonic setup into that key level. Then if we can go from this point, okay, to this high, to this low, and then if we can be able to push ourselves up to this level, and then we can see that this was actually a text of this key level. And then let's look at what happened there. Let's look at alternate bar to see if we can be able to see that. Good. So you can see that we had a valid harmonic pattern here, of course, a bearish alternate bar of 0.382, okay, 0.886 to 1.13. So it was actually valid. Now let me do that so that you guys can see it clearly. So when price is trading into a key level, you begin to ask yourself, do we have the harmonic setup into that key level, right? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Do we have a harmonic setup into that key level? And then where the pattern complete gives you an indication of early reversal that might occur. Now, for someone who is trading other strategies, you begin to ask yourself, okay, price have traded into this level right here. What do I do? You don't have a direction. You're only looking out for entry based on your conviction or based on the reaction. But then with harmonic pattern, you've already forecasted where that pattern is going to complete, where the setup is going to complete, and then when the pattern or setup completes, you're looking out for what? For entry. It makes the whole process simple and easy and all of that. Okay. Now we are looking out for swing reversal, right? We're not looking out for continuation trade. Of course, pride have now let me just portray a little bit. Now, whenever we establish a swing structure, when we establish a string structure of this form, for instance, let's assume that we have price traded in this form and then begin to do something like this and then hit a key level on the weekly, on the monthly, right? So we have completed this swing order flow. Yes, so the bearish swing order flow has been completed at that point in time. So all we are waiting for is to see if we're going to continue this swing bearish order flow, or the order flow is going to change from the structure is going to change from bearish to bullish. So that is what we have to look at for. So when price trade into a higher time frame key level, we have to know that that potential continuation trade is potentially coming to an end. So you should be able to understand that price might reverse to begin a new and entire order flow entirely. So you can be able to catch your continuation trade from all of this retracement to this key level. So when price hits this key level, we are looking at for swing reversal. So once price establishes that swing reversal, then you can start catching out all those your continuation trade. Right? Does it really make sense to you? So we can start cashing out all those continuation trade till this swing order flow is complete. So once the swing order flow is complete, you have to wait to see what is going to happen. So we start to see all those swing harmonic patterns into this key level. But then something can happen. Price can continue to trade up, continue the bullish order flow, and that is normal. That is okay. That is fine. All right, so but you have to anticipate what could happen. So in this scenario, we had a total change in order flow from bullish to bearish as price traded into this key level, right? So now let me just label this for you guys, okay? So we had, this is what we call alternate bats. Good. So now on the 4-hour time frame, we start to look at for entry. See, this is a swing setup. We've already had a sweep on that high. So other people are focusing on the narrative and then all the sentiment behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoin. You're really focusing on the technical know-how of what is going on the chart, because at the end of the day, chart tells you everything. Okay, so you can leverage on sentiment. You can as well leverage on the technical understanding of the market, and you are okay. If you can understand the technicality of the market, you are just okay. You don't need much of the sentimental, because at the end of the day, the chart will tell you what is going to happen, where the smart money, where the market makers are moving price, right? So now, see what is going on here. We had a lot of confirmation for this sell based on how I teach my students on HSM community how to look out for swing reversal candlestick formation. So we saw all the buyers exhaustions, on that level of key level. Okay, so we saw the reaction here. Entry was confirmed here. Price came back again for the second time, and then the same thing here. So we saw all those exhaustion of buyers, and then that was what really happened there. Okay, so now you start to look at for your continuation trade, because we have already established the swing setup. You start to look at for continuation trade, because price is now making lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs. We start to look out for continuation trade, until we hit this key level. Now, when we hit this key level on the higher time frame, you have to anticipate that the bearish order flow is coming to an end. Let me just group all of this information. Let me take all the rectangles. And move them to key level. Okay, good. Then let me take all this setup and then put them in a group. Good. So now when price came to this key level on the higher time frame, you have to anticipate what? A change in the order flow. Remember what I said in the class. When price comes to a key level on the higher time frame, that's your continuation trade is coming to an end. You have to wait and see what price will do. Will price trade above it or respect it? That is what you have to anticipate, and then you start to look out for swing harmonic setup into that key level. As simple as that. You saw how we were able to identify this particular one, and it was a very sweet ride to this downside. Where others we are focusing on the narrative and sentiments, we're looking at the technicality of the market and what is going on there. Okay, now here we will actually see a kind of a harmonic setup into that key level. It was actually a crab, but then that crab has it was actually a crab of 1.618. Okay, it was a crab of 1.618 into that key level. From this point to this point, it was a crab of what? 1.161. So if you look at the measurement from this point to this point, now marking out these harmonic patterns comes with experience, and it's very simple. Once you understand the logic and understand the shape behind every harmonic pattern, you'll be able to understand how to mark it out on the chart. It's all about recognizing the shape and the pattern. If you can understand the M's and W patterns of the formation, it's very simple and it's very easy. Okay, it comes with practice, right? So now we have this, and then into this what key level. Okay, so that is what we have here. Good. So that's what we have here, and then this is actually what we call a crab pattern. Okay, let me just label this for you guys. So now let's look at what is currently happening on Ethereum at the moment. Since we have established what has happened in the past, now let's look at what is happening currently on Ethereum at the moment. Okay, so you can see that this is actually a valid setup, and the setup has been running for a couple of time right now. Okay, and it's been running, and then you can see that we have actually achieved 0.382 if I'm not mistaken. I think we have also achieved 0.5. Good. And 0.5 is a median range between the high and low of the market based on the range you're looking at for. So we might expect a kind of a reversal or a kind of a retracement when price trade into the 50% of the range. It happens most times. So our take profit levels are 0.382, 0.5, 0.618, and 0.786 as the case may be based on price action, right? So we're able to hit from this point, and we'll be able to hit 0.5 of target. Okay, we'll be able to hit 0.5 of target from that level, right there. Okay, now let's look at what is happening currently on Bitcoin, on Ethereum. Okay, let's look at what is happening currently on Ethereum. Now, price have traded into this weekly key level. We have established a lot of things in the past based on what I've showed you guys. Okay, now if you agree with me that price respected those key levels, now there is high chance that price will also respect key levels on the weekly and on the daily. Now price have traded into this key level on the weekly time frame and also on the daily time frame. Okay, you can even see clearly this is an order block that price have traded into, and you can see how price have actually taken out the high here. You can see how price took out this high. So we need that confirmation to know if actually price is coming to mitigate this fair value gap on the discount level of price. Okay, so now do we have any kind of harmonic pattern into this key level right here? Now remember that it's all about shape and pattern. We have a lot of harmonic patterns, but it's M's and W 5 points price structure in M's and W formation. 5 points price structure in M's and W formation. Okay, so if you see what is happening here based on this whole stuff, you can see that this is actually what is happening currently on Ethereum right here. Does that make sense? Does that really make sense? You can see. So let's look at if this is 1.13. Now let's look at that from this point. Okay. Now price is not 100% is not 100% what do you call it? It's not 100% black and white. Okay, so there is always a kind of variations. It must not always be that point at that point that price will react from. There's always a little bit of variations. Okay, so now we might have our stop loss is 1.272 and price did not actually hit our stop loss. Then if we look at from this high to this point, and then we'll start to look at for 0.886, beautiful reaction from there. Okay, so we might consider that as well. But then let's look at this. So let's look at this particular structure right here. Like I said, this comes with practice. It comes with what? With practice. This is the last candle that confirmed that ratio at the potential reversal zone. Okay, so this is what we are looking at for on the daily time frame. Now let's go to the lower time frame, because most times whenever we establish a higher time frame swing structure or swing setup like this, we might as well get a kind of a scaling setup on the lower time frame. So let's go to the lower time frame. Let's go to 2-hour time frame or 1-hour time frame to see if we have any kind of setup. And then I can as well see, I can see one already. I can see this one also based on the shape and the formation of the pattern. Okay, beautiful. So let's look at it together to see if that is up to 1.13 at that dot, at that point. That is where we got that confirmation, 1.13 at that dot. Okay, you can see how accurate and how specific these price structures respect the Fibonacci levels of the harmonic, right? Good. So let's map that out also. So we have a kind of a mother-child formation or a mother-child setup, and that is beautiful and that is wonderful. Okay, so now this is what we are looking at for on Ethereum. You will have the swing structure, which is of course is this particular one. And then we also have the scaling structure, the scaling setup, which actually on the lower time frame. So now we start to look at for confirmation for this reversal to occur. Do we have any kind of confirmation for us to take this sell? That is another thing we have to ask ourselves. Do we have any kind of confirmation for us to take this sell? Now you can see that the price is bullish on this leg. Okay, so we have to look out for structure shift on the lower time frame. We start to look out for structure shift on the on the lower time frame, and based on smart money, this is an inducement. We can as well take it as a structure. This is an inducement, and then we can take it as change of structure, and then we'll have the sweep on this high. Okay, and then price have actually reacting from this level of demand. Okay, so let's see price will react from this level of supply and see what happens. And then we also have this level of supply also here, which is actually a valid order block also from here. Okay, this is also a valid order block. So we can see how we've established all of this now. But if you don't want to go through this route of looking at for structure shift on the lower time frame down, another thing you can as well do is to look out for reversal candlestick formation on the higher time frame. That is another thing you can as well do. Okay, and to do that, you do that from the 4-hour time frame. Then you look out for evening star, look out for liquidity sweep, look out for liquidity sweep with confirmation, look out for buyer's exhaustion, and then if you see any of that, then it gives you a clear indication that price might actually have a retracement from the high to this low. And then for take profit levels, we're looking at for 0.886 and 0.5. So final target at 0.886, and then when price gets to 0.5, you take partial profit. Now for the swing structure, we're looking at for, and this will bring us to the end of this technical analysis on Ethereum using the concept of harmonics and smart money concept. So now for the swing structure, let me do this once and for all. Beautiful, cool, right? So this particular one, you can see how I'm arranging all my charts and making them look very neat and very sharp. Okay, so now for the swing structure, we're looking at for 0.5, that is 2,100-ish, and then we're looking at for 0.886 final target at 1,500-ish. Now we don't really know where price is going to come to, but then we have this huge imbalance that the price might likely come to fill. We don't know if price will do that, but from what we are seeing there, we are seeing a kind of reaction or a kind of exhaustion of buyers and a little retracement to the downside. So these are the setup we have currently on Ethereum. We don't know if it's going to hold or not. We just have to make do with what we are seeing. Okay, we just have to make decision based on what we are seeing. We don't really know what is going on, but based on what we are seeing, this is what we have for you guys. So thank you guys for joining me to this on this video analysis on Ethereum, and I hope you have gained value on how to approach market based on key levels and based on technical analysis of smart money concept, liquidity sweep, confirmation of using reversal candlestick formation, and also looking at price, market structure, break of structure, change of character, and all the rest of them. So we combine all this information to make decisions in the market. Okay, I hope this video helped you in any way, and if there's any way this video have helped you, please consider subscribing to the channel so that whenever I release videos like this in the future, you'll be the first person to be notified. And then also like and share the video if there's any person you know that this video can as well help in their trading also. And then if you have any kind of feedback, I value feedback a lot. If there's any way you spotted out errors or issues that you want more clarification on, there are things that you feel that I made mistake on, please comment below this video, and then I'll take necessary actions or necessary I'll take that into consideration whenever I'm doing another video. And if there's any asset you want me to analyze for you, please always drop the comment section, drop it as a comment below this video also. And then you can join our WhatsApp group, you can join our Telegram group for our free signal and free market updates. You can also join our community to learn how we trade, and then to be able to learn how to trade, how to combine key levels, harmonic patterns, and then smart money concept to make informed decisions in the market. So I love you guys, and I hope and wish you guys all the best. And this will be all for now, guys, and then bye for now, and have a wonderful day.